got a question for y'all. Do you wonder if people ever have any kind of reciprocity that they receive for causing other people to live their life in a perpetual state of misery? In case you're wondering, my son and I are sitting out here on my front porch in Linden, Virginia, drinking a cup of coffee and listening to the storm come in, watching the storm roll in. But I'm sitting here and I've got another member of my family that right now is living in a perpetual state of misery. And I mean, as a practitioner of hope and a self-leader and someone who always is working to move forward, who is a survivor, who is always believing that you can take that step to bring yourself out of that state or wherever it is. There are forces out here that are constantly working dark energy to better themselves against others. And I wonder if there is any accountability that they have for what they do to cause people to live in a perpetual state of misery. And Chris, if you want to chime in anytime, just feel free to do it, bro. I mean, these are the kind of things that bother me on a daily basis as I'm going through my life and trying to help people. But I've got to feel like that these people who, and it's happening right now in our country with the Congress. It's happening with these people who have lost all semblance of civility in how they work with each other, speak with each other, interact with each other. The ego justice that is going on in our country right now, driven specifically by ego, is going to take us down, I believe, if we can't get a hold on it, if we can't get a grip on what is happening here. I've got a member of my family right now that is in jail for the rest of his useful life because a person and that person's family and the judicial system and the defending system and the legal system completely let this guy down. Was there something committed that was illegal? Yes. Was there an opportunity for there to be some more positive outcome to this? Absolutely. But instead of the justice system working to help the situation become a positive for change, perhaps, instead what we have is a man in prison for the rest of his useful life. He won't get out till he's 70. Because a judge, a prosecutor, law enforcement, his defense attorney, and the family that was involved in this whole thing simply allowed it to happen. Used their yeah. I can't reflect my disdain and my disappointment for our legal system any more than that thunder right there. And it's not just with this member of my family that breaks my heart and hurts my heart. It's what's going on in our entire country with this thing right now. It's not just limited to him. Chris, what do you think, man? I mean, you got anything you want to add to that? I mean, what do you think is happening here?
I don't know if I would say that human life is valued as it used to be, as it once was, as a collective society. I know that the world's developing really quickly. There's a greater amount of people than there ever was, and it's ever growing every day. So there's a lesser value to each individual life. So when things affect people on an individual level or a rare occurrence, it's not something that's necessarily addressed. And I don't think people can really feel remorse or feel any type of retribution for what actions they cause or harm through those actions they cause to another person.
The way they used to, the way that...
Right, because
right?
It used to be in a way that you could usually see how something might affect somebody else. But with the way the world is now, it's such a quick pace. There's a lot going on. And there's a lot more people. So on an individual level, as a collective, people are. It's very easy to just say, oh well, this is why that, and so that had to happen. That's as a result of that happening.
So what about judges, though, man? I mean, what about judges, and what about prosecutors and the people that are supposed to be...
Well, that doesn't represent what it
blind when they're issuing justice, like in the case of our family member, or in the case of people who are assumed guilty and before they are given a fair trial. What about what's going on, man? I mean, I understand what you're saying, that there's so much going on now.
Well, America is a very protective society. We wouldn't be what we are without our defense as a country, and that goes into our communities. So we're very quick to put the hammer down in our community, and it's not always geared the right way. And it's obviously ego-driven, like you said. I mean, it's ego-driven all the way. The prosecutor isn't necessarily doing what they're doing for justification in the situation or to equalize the balance of things. They're doing it also for their own intention in a lot of cases.
Well, I got to say that it really breaks my heart to think that law enforcement, for one, would take somebody down without real cause. Two, that and this, I mean, and this is not just for this family member. I mean, we see it happening every day where, and God bless the guys in blue, the ladies and the guys in blue that risk their lives every day to protect us. This is not what this is about. I back ICE. I back all that. The law enforcement protecting our borders and all that. I'm with that. But what I'm talking about here is where people are taking things in way out of context in their efforts to feel good about themselves or make a hero out of themselves, or this bravado thing, this ego thing that makes certain people feel like that they have no repercussions, no accountability for harming others, and still be able to sleep at night. I want us to get a grip. I don't know, I was talking to my dad the other day, and I told him, I said, I've got a new job. That's going to be loud thunder. Hang on, hold on. I was talking to my dad the other day, and I told him, I said, I don't know what to do anymore because I don't seem to be being heard. I don't want to stick my neck out anymore because I don't feel like that I'm going to be heard. And his response to me was, he said, son, and I can't quote him because I can't use the exact words, but it was along the lines of just live your life the way you feel like you ought to, teach it to your family and that kind of thing. And he's right. That's what I'm doing now. But this is the thing. For those of you that know me, I can't keep my mouth shut. I can't just let things go because I am my mom's son. And this thing that's going on right now with our country and with our justice system. Whoa! Woo! Ha ha ha! Lord have mercy.
Damn, I'm going inside.
Chris Eagle. Man, oh man. What was that? See, now that I think is telling me that my dad's right. Maybe I need to shut the hell up and just live my life quietly. Oh my God.
Dude, that was right there.
Woo!
Dude, that thing landed on the street, dude. That shit was right on your road.
Chris ran it. I love it. I love it. I love storms. I love storms. It is one of the most exciting things. It is as close as you can get to Mother Nature and God's creation in keeping this planet balanced. Man, that. I can hardly wait to replay this because I don't know what my face looked like when that hit, but it was right here. It was like right over there. It was like the lightning hit right beside my porch. And as soon as that lightning hit, that thunder went cracking, boy. Anyway, that was phenomenal. So what do y'all think that was telling me? Keep making noise or be quiet? I'm going to think about that one. I'm thinking it's telling me to make noise, to keep going, to keep making people listen to what I have to say. Because truthfully, it's people like us that make change happen. It's people like us that make change happen. And I'm speechless right now. That is so cool. I mean, it's like sitting in a battlefield, I guess, you know. And it's like having bombs go off right beside you. For those of you that don't know, I live in a valley. The top of the mountain is over that way. And then there's a deep valley behind my house that goes even deeper down into a ravine where there's an underground creek and stream running. Then it goes back up to another top, to the top of another top of the hill over there. So when storms come, we catch it. Comes over top of that mountain, and man, we catch it. It's beautiful. Anyway, I've been into this almost 15 minutes now. But I want to urge everyone to stop what you're doing. Consider what it is that you're saying about others, what you're delivering onto others as you are making judgments about others. This is crucial. We're at a crucial point in our development as a country, and as we are the leaders of the free world, and as I think we're probably possibly the models that others can follow in the development of humanity, if we can get over where we're at right now. We all need to stop and think about what it is we're saying about one another, to one another, in our passment of judgment on others. We have to bring this thing to a climax. This drama that we're in right now, in this American legal and judicial and political system that we're in, because it affects us all. You know, we've got people at the highest levels of our government right now being ridiculed, being slammed, being just taken down, just all over. But that does not stop at that level. Do you understand what I'm saying? When I say that I've got a family member who's in prison right now, it's because the same kind of thing has been rolling downhill. The same kind of the misapplication of evidence, the misapplication of family values, the misapplication of rhetoric and paranoia and emotion is being played out in courtrooms across this country. And unless we stop it now, we're going to have family members going to prison for things that are just absolutely ridiculous. We're going to have people dying in the streets for civil unrest that's being caused by members in our legislative and our judicial systems that are doing things that are absolutely unnecessary. And it's up to you and me, the American people, to get a grip on this thing. We have to stand for what we know in our hearts is the right thing right here. We are falling for the message that we know in our hearts is not the right message. You and I both know it. Please, I'm begging you, stop and listen to what you are saying, what you are doing, what you are delivering on other people's heads before you do it. Write a letter to your Congress, write a letter to your state representatives, to your city council, to your pastors, to others, to start preaching the message of hope, to be honest, to be open and omnipotent toward God, and to be pure in your love toward one another, and to develop your essence and to live by it. The people who are attempting to cause you to hate each other are the enemy. Honestly, they are the ones. Do not allow people who are throwing out hate speech every day to cause you to hate one another. Stop and think about the message that they are really putting toward you. Seriously. Think about what people are saying in the news. Do your own research. But think mainly in your heart about what the right thing is. You know what's there. You know if you take a step back and you take the time to sit with yourself and God and talk to yourself and listen to yourself, you will come to the right conclusions about everything that you are feeling right now. We cannot allow this to go on. Trust me when I say to you that there is a day of reckoning coming for all the people who believe that there is no accountability for the false narratives and the false judicial decisions and the legislative decisions that they're making right now that are impacting people in ways that are not supportive of honesty openness, pure love. There is accountability coming, and they'll feel it. Anyone who has gone through the type of life that, and I'm going to be honest with you, anyone who's gone through the type of life that I've gone through, and who has done harm to others, accidentally and sometimes on purpose, and has had the opportunity to feel the pain that comes from that, and have it delivered on themselves as well, and has had the opportunity to just sit back and feel the pain, and to contemplate, and to awaken, and become enlightened, and to understand what it means to truly be honest, open, pure love. Take it from someone who's been there. Karma is very real. Karma is real. We have to do what I'm saying. And there are so many other people out here who preach the same thing. They're saying the same thing I am. We have to get our judges in line. People who are obvious, it's obvious, it should be obvious to everyone what kind of judges are operating outside of the law. What kind of prosecutors are operating outside of the boundaries of what they are provided to do to deliver proper justice. We're already starting to see where there are controls being put on law enforcement to where they can't use their egos and their bravado to take down people. We already see that taking place now. But we also need to make sure that these prosecutors and these judges are held accountable. We're working on this one right now with this family member. They're going to be held accountable. And when the day comes, they're going to wish they had never taken it upon themselves to operate outside the true nature of the law and what the law was put there to do. The law was not put there to help judges and prosecutors make careers for themselves by putting people in jail that don't need to be there. Same thing's going on in Congress right now. If you sit back and watch what's going on with our Congress and our judicial and our legislature, I think one of the primary things that we can learn from what's happening with the FBI, the Department of Justice, and our Congress right now is that we can use those as a model for what we should be doing to correct the system all over the country. The corruption and negligence and inappropriate behavior that went on over the last bunch of years. I'm not just saying during the Obama administration. Come on now. I am not trying to blame all this on President Obama. It is us, the American people, who are to blame for allowing our FBI, our Department of Justice, and others to go rogue and our Congress as well, to go rogue. We need to bring it back in. We need to pull them back in. We need to get control of our country because it's out of control. There's a reason why people elected Donald Trump. He's the disruptor. He's a disruptor who's trying to make things happen, not trying to make changes happen. You can hate him all you want, but nothing's going to happen without somebody making changes. So let's make it happen. Contact your congressman, contact your local officials, but more than anything else, take it upon yourself to stop hating each other and start thinking about what it is that's right, what's really right about what you're saying about others, about what you're delivering upon others before you do it. Thank you. I love you. Bye.